we are going to simplify these radicals. But notice there are numbers and letters here. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to treat it as two different problems. I can break this up into just radical 125 times radical x and do it individually. Right, let's do the left-hand side like what we did before. This can be broken down into radical 25 times radical 5. Radical 25 simplifies to just a 5. Nothing happens to that radical 5. Then we can't simplify anything with the radical x, okay? So we just bring it down, okay? Now we can just merge it back together. There's the 5 that is on the outside, then we have the radical, leaving you with a 5x that is left in back on the inside. Okay, next, let's do the same one here. Split it, so we have radical 100 times radical x squared. Okay, radical 100 just becomes 10. Here, this, we can see that it's x squared, which is the base, and remember, this radical means divide this by 2. Okay, we can simplify that. 2 over 2 becomes x to the 1. Okay, so it's just 10x to the first power, or just 10 to the x. Okay, next we have this, right? We have 80, so square root 80 times square root x cubed. Okay, let's do this one first. I think here we can use 80 is 16 times 5, right? Yes. Okay. 16 times 5, yep. All right, so it's square root 16 times square root 5, breaking down to just 4 radical 5. Here, it is better for us to see x cubed, and again, this is a square root, so we divide this by 2. All right, so it is best to see this as a mixed number. So we have x to the 1, then we have x to the 1/2 that is left over. So what we can do here is we have an x times, and this is an x to the 1/2, so we can just bring that back into the radical of x. Okay, now you have a 4x that is on the outside of the radical, and then you have a 5x that is on the inside of the radical. There you go. Right? Okay. Remember, look for a perfect square. All right. Next, we have 2 radical 28. So we have a 2 on the outside. Then we have a radical 28 here. We can break up the radical 28 into radical 4 times radical 7. Radical 4 becomes a 2 times radical 7. Let's bring down that 2 times. Okay, 2 times 2 is 4. Then a radical 7 that is left over. Here we have a 2x, which is on the outside, times radical 45 times radical x squared. Okay, I just split them apart. So radical 45 becomes radical 9 times radical 5. Radical 9 becomes 3. Radical 5 just stays there. Okay, then we have x squared, then we know this is the square root, so this is divided by 2. That does simplify to just an x. Then we bring down that 2x that was there always. On the outside, you have 2x times 3 times x, so it is 2 times 3 is 6. X times x is x squared, leaving, and then a radical 5 in the end. So there you go. All right, so it is best recommended to split them apart, okay, and do them individually.